I'm Teresa Didvig, Director of the Well Balanced Pianist. Healthy movement is a core component of the Well Balanced Pianist programs. Of course, our main focus is healthy movement for playing the piano, but you might be surprised by how similar playing the piano is to typing. And some of our students have told us that typing is uncomfortable for them, so I developed these strategies to help them out. I hope they help you too. You want to bring your hands to the keyboard with your shoulders and elbows comfortable and maintaining the natural shape of your wrists and hands when they arrive. Your forearms will probably be angled in front of you when you maintain the natural shape of your wrists on the outside and the inside. Now remember, we noticed that all your fingers are different lengths. That means that if you learn touch typing, you'll probably want to revise your idea of the hand's neutral positions on the keyboard. Look how curled and misshapen my fingers are when I place them over those 8 home keys. And my wrists are out of alignment too. So you want to start over only 2 home keys, F in the left hand and J in the right hand. And you want to be free to move from there to maintain your natural shape. You want to balance your hands so your palms face the floor and they don't tilt towards the inside or towards the outside. You want your hands to face the floor. The best movement for dropping into keys is this little finger tap from the main knuckles, accompanied by a drop of the whole hand and forearm from the elbow. This is a very gentle and easy drop. You want to touch the computer keys with your finger pads close to the tip, but not exactly on the tip. Now you can see that my nails are very short. I'm a pianist and I don't like to hear them clicking on the keys when I play. So you can keep your nails longer than that. They can probably extend a bit past your finger even. Just be sure that your fingers can keep their natural shape when you type and that you're able to touch each key with your finger pad close to the tip. The best left and right movements for typing are made with the hand and forearm in alignment, as always, the forearm resting easily, as always, and with the loose elbow serving as a fulcrum while we make the same kind of movement we would make if we were washing a window or waving at someone with the whole forearm. Not angling at the wrist, needless to say, you want to move with the whole hand and forearm together. You can practice these right and left movements by moving back and forth from H to enter in the right hand, H, enter, or from Y to tab in the left hand, Y, tab. You can use any other combinations too, anything that requires you to move left and right. Notice that I bring all my fingers with me as I move left and right, so my fingers stay in alignment and my hands don't get stretched out of shape. The movement we call in and out helps us maintain our wrist alignment and our different finger lengths while we type. The in movement is the movement towards the upper number row or the function keys on a PC, and the out movement is the movement toward the space bar or the lower row of letters like Z and X and N and M. You can see how tense my hands are if I don't use in and out movements, but instead try to stay in one place and reach every key by curling and stretching my fingers. I'm so happy we don't have to move that way. You can practice using in and out by moving your whole hand and forearm in alignment as always, forearm rested as always, from U to N in your right hand, into U, out to N, into U, out to N, and from T to B in your left hand, T, out to B, into T, out to B, into T, out to B. As a next step, I always suggest to type your name. You probably type it a lot, and if you consciously work in this habit with your name, it will be a great model for you. If my name were John, I would start typing it with my index finger on J, move slightly in for O, slightly out, and to the left for H, and further out for N. J-O-H-N. When I type my own first name, Teresa, my in and out movements look like this. T-E-R-E-S-A. You'll see that even though S and A are right next to each other on the computer keyboard, I need to move my hand in to type the A after the S because my little finger is behind my ring finger. It's the same thing as if I typed O to P in my right hand. I want to maintain my finger lengths, so I move in to type the P. If you think you've never used in and out movements, I would suggest that while you may not have used them for typing, you probably use them all the time for other activities. Every time we open or shut a drawer, we use in and out movements. So with a little attention, in and out movements are easy to apply to typing. Now I'm going to talk about typing the space bar with a thumb. We use the space bar all the time, so it's important to move well to it. The best movement for typing the space bar with a thumb is a gentle drop of the thumb down to the side of the hand like this, accompanied by the usual gentle drop of the forearm. You always want to drop the thumb into the space bar with a slight forward balance of your hand. You can develop a lot of tension at the base of your thumb and in your wrist from falling back on the thumb like this. Then there's the question of how we get to the space bar so the thumb can drop down into it with its little gentle forward balance. Thumbs are capable of many movements, but only a limited number of them allow us to move quickly with all our joints in their easiest range of motion. For example, it's very tempting to pull the thumb back away from the hand to reach the space bar. I've seen this so frequently with people who feel uncomfortable while typing that I have named it spacebar thumb. Although one of my students says it could also be called video game thumb, which makes me wonder how he spends his time. But whatever you call it, this backward pull creates tension in the thumb, in the wrist, and back into the elbow and shoulder. Fortunately, there is an easy alternative. Move your whole hand and forearm back in alignment as always, forearm rested as always. And when your thumb is over the space bar, you can easily drop it down to the side of the hand with its little forward balance. So when you're typing, it looks like this. You type along, you move your hand out, and drop that thumb into the space bar. Type, 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 move out, drop your thumb into the space bar. It's important when typing two keys at the same time to use both hands. You can really pull yourself out of shape by typing two keys in the same hand. You can see what happens when I try to type a capital T with my left hand, typing both the shift and the T. My wrist is out of alignment and my hand is stretched out. To type a capital T, I'll type shift with my right hand and T with my left hand. Couldn't be easier. Always use two hands to type two keys at once. Now I want you to see what comfortable typing looks like. See how easy it is when I'm sitting well, I'm using movements that allow me to maintain my natural hand and forearm shape, and I interface with the keyboard so it helps me. I always say that typing comfortably feels like no big deal. I hope these ideas are helpful and make typing easier for you. If any of these ideas does not make typing easier for you, just let that idea go. It means it doesn't apply to you or you need more personalized instruction. And please be in touch with me at wellbalancedpianist.com if you have any questions.